Good morning, and thanks so much for being with us for Fox 43 Morning News at 9. I'm Jackie DeTore.
And I'm Trenice Bishop, and we're here, of course, with our favorite guy at 9 o'clock. Hopefully you've got some good news for us, Greg.
I have no good news today.
New this morning, police are investigating a reported shooting in Lancaster. It happened just after 4 o'clock yesterday afternoon near the South Queen and East Andrews Streets intersection. Details are limited, and police have not said how many people were involved in the incident. This is a developing story, and we'll bring you the latest information as soon as it becomes available. Also this morning, the fight to end gun violence continues as state and city officials work to provide legislation to curb the crisis.
Dozens of officials, along with anti-gun violence advocates, met at the state capitol yesterday to push for further action. Mothers and friends shared testimonies of who they lost to gun violence. Governor Tom Wolf was also in attendance and stated legislation would help target key reforms like requiring reporting of lost or stolen guns and also closing loophole in the state's background check system. Meanwhile, gun rights advocates say the violence must stop, but they believe guns aren't the only issue.
The problem is related to gang violence and also the violence surrounding the drug culture, whether it's committed with a firearm, whether it's committed with knives, baseball bats. It's a serious problem, and that's where we have to put our efforts.
Dr. Fennell also says increased gun control may provide more ways for criminals to find alternatives to continue to commit crimes and further impact people and their families.
In honor of National Crime Victims' Rights Week, an organization in York is doing just that, honoring victims of crime, witnesses, and their families. The York County Victims' Rights Coalition held their 36th annual Crime Victims' Rights March and Candlelight Vigil at Tri-County Catholic Church, where members of the community shared their stories of survival. Organizers say the service is a powerful moment meant to empower crime victims and their loved ones.
When you become a victim, you have a lot of choices taken away from you. You don't choose to become a victim. So using your voice is a really powerful way to recover and share your story.
Event organizers say there are numerous resources in York County for victims of crimes, including the Victim Witness Department in the district's attorney's office. National Crime Victims' Rights Week will continue through April 30th.
New data from the CDC is revealing astonishing COVID-19 numbers. Agency officials say more than half of all Americans have contracted COVID-19 so far, and the stats are even worse when it comes to children.
Health officials estimate 3 out of every 4 kids have been infected. In response, the Biden administration is expanding availability for antiviral COVID-19 treatments. The president announced that Paxlovid, the antiviral pill by Pfizer, is now more readily available across the country. However, health officials say despite this, Americans will miss out on effective treatments and better vaccines unless Congress passes more COVID-19 funding.
None of those are going to be available to the American people if we don't get more funding. We are tracking new treatments that are coming online that are as effective, maybe even more effective, with fewer side effects. Those treatments will not be available to Americans because other countries are stepping up and making purchases for those treatments.
Health officials say Paxlovid has shown to be more effective in reducing hospitalizations and severe symptoms from COVID-19. The U.S. has ordered enough supply of the pills for 20 million people, which is estimated to last for several more months. Parents now have another way to protect their kids against COVID-19. The FDA approved Remdesivir as the first COVID-19 treatment for children under the age of 12. Doctors can now prescribe the antiviral drug to patients who are more than 28 days old and who are hospitalized or at high risk for severe symptoms. The agency had already approved the treatment for Americans 12 and older. Pediatricians say it's a game changer in the battle against the virus.
Especially to outpatients, people who aren't sick enough to need hospitalization yet, it works extremely well.
The FDA also says the treatment is not a substitute for getting vaccinated, though. COVID-19 shots have not yet been approved for children under 5. Nonetheless, hundreds of parents and doctors across the country have filed a petition calling on the FDA to approve the COVID-19 vaccine for this age group. Well, this week is National Infertility Awareness Week, and to bring attention to the cause, state lawmakers rallied at the Capitol to call for better insurance coverage for fertility treatments.
Infertility impacts about 10% of people, and the average cost of treatments can range anywhere from $15,000 to $85,000. House Bill 2142, more commonly known as the PA Fertility Act, would guarantee insurance coverage so families would not need to foot such a large bill. Advocates of the legislation say individuals are being forced to move to nearby states for treatment because it's covered by their insurance.
Delaware, Maryland, New Jersey, New York, Ohio, West Virginia, all protect fertility treatment by law. It's time for Pennsylvania to step up and do what is right. Support legislation that supports families. Support the idea that everyone deserves a family.
That bill was introduced last December. It would also help members of the LGBTQ+ community who are attempting to start families. And if you're trying to lose weight, alcohol is typically something you would have to cut out of your diet. But this morning, experts say if you do enjoy a glass of red wine, you're in luck.
Ah, look at that. Yes, apparently red wine reduces less stomach fat, or produces less stomach fat rather, than other drinks like vodka, beer, and white wine. In a study with more than 1,800 people between the ages of 40 and 79, researchers discovered that those who drank red wine had less abdominal fat than those who didn't. Now, this doesn't mean that you should certainly have multiple glasses of wine at dinner, because like most things, red wine should be consumed in moderation. But it is certainly good to know that the red wine is a little gentler on the tummy, if you will.
I mean, listen. After a day like today, it's cold, it's rainy, the glass of red wine helps a lot. And if it's not going to hurt me, I'm going.
True, and I guess, you know, everything in moderation, right?
Mm-hmm.
But
yeah.
If red wine's not your thing, hey, treat yourself. And welcome back to Fox 43 Morning News at 8. Let's take a look at what's happening in our area this Thursday. Today, an event is being held in York County to help people find success after incarceration. The York County Reentry Coalition is offering a simulation training for returning citizens. The program provides support in navigating challenges faced after release. The event is free and will take place from 9 a.m. to noon today at St. Matthew's Lutheran Church in York. Well, Pennsylvania state officials want you to pay attention when you're behind the wheel. The Department of Transportation and state police will hold a press conference today, encouraging people to put down their cell phones and stop distracting driving. There's currently a texting while driving ban in place in the Commonwealth, which prohibits drivers from sending, reading, or writing text messages while their vehicle is in motion. The event takes place today at 2:30 p.m. at the Summerdale Driver and Photo License Center in Enola, Cumberland County. Well, the Swatara Township Police Department is teaming up with the Penn State Health Injury Prevention Program today. They're hosting a free community safety event in Dauphin County. Information on various safety-related topics will be covered, including bike helmet safety, water safety, and home safety. You can also get a free car seat check today on site. Organizers say it's open to everyone, including both Swatara Township residents and non-residents as well. The event takes place today from 10 a.m. to noon at the Rutherford Fire Department in Swatara Township. Now, these are just a few events happening today in our area. Now, let's take a look at your ride. Unfortunately, for folks that may be attempting to travel to or through parts of Carlisle, we've got some delays. First report of police activity, and authorities are urging you to perhaps avoid the area of York Road and East High Street this morning. Again, the investigation ongoing at the Speedway in the area. Not speeding at all on 81. It's a slow go to start your Friday Eve. We've got a work crew that's still working away on some improvements in the area, with the right lane blocked as you approach Route 641. Again, you'll certainly won't miss the brake lights. But a little later on, more brake lights perhaps to add to this party already. We've got a bridge inspection scheduled today from 9 until 2 along Interstate 81 at Route 1115. So do be mindful there that you'll find some midday slowdowns, unfortunately, in either your north or southbound direction. Right now, moving at a decent pace for folks on 83 to the South Bridge, but you'll certainly take that slowdown to get towards the Eisenhower interchange. The sun glare is black today, so don't forget to bring those sunglasses with you. Otherwise, this morning we're fairly quiet for you through most of Lancaster. We do have some delays southbound 222, also picking up a slowdown for folks on westbound 30. No reported crash, but just before I came out, we did have crash activity reported for you here. South Chickies Creek at Spooky Nook Road. We're looking for police on scene and also response there. No other major issues to report for you through York County. We've been mostly quiet on 30 through York City and 83 as well. You're right on the other side of 83, perhaps to get into Maryland, still showing green on my screen, which means we move at speed. A nice start to your almost weekend here, 83 south to 695. Your drive time tells the same story. Your trip right now from the Mason-Dixon line to the Beltway in Baltimore, around 25 minutes. And for more on your fantastic forecast for your Friday Eve, because the sunshine is back, friends, here's meteorologist Andrea Michaels.
Yeah, that's right. It is